Hello.
Hello, everyone.
How's it going? Good to see you all today.
It is. I'm excited.
I'm excited too, and I've got Shorty here with me today.
I told her to take her shoes off, and I put mine on, but it didn't seem to make a whole lot of difference, but that's okay.
That's okay. We're used to it by now. Well, hello. Thank you for jumping in. We are excited to be here. We've got an amazing design to share with you all. And before we start that, I think we should introduce ourselves. And if you're new around here, we always like to say hi to you. So make sure you drop a number 1 in the comments, whether you're watching on YouTube or Facebook. We're streaming both places. So if you consider yourself new, give us a number 1 in the comments and we'll introduce ourselves. Okay, so this is...
I'm Annie Moody, and I'm the co-founder, and I design and digitize here at Hoop Sisters, and you are?
I'm Aubrey Ellerbrock. I don't do any of that. But we still have fun, so it's all good. Okay, hi, Sue. Welcome. Glad you're hanging out with us for maybe the first or few first times. And Connie, too. And Cindy. So fantastic. We've got some newbies, and we've got some familiar names, too.
So they're probably missing Mystery Quilt, right?
Mystery
Quilt, because Mystery Quilt is over, so we are moving on, but we've loved the quilts that we've seen, and Linda did a phenomenal job. She's the other co-founder of Hoop Sisters, but we got something different and something special and something simple for you today.
We sure do. And we are very excited to share it. Before we share it, I do want to make sure that for those of you who are dropping a number 1, we want you to know what this is all about. So we like to host what we call workshops. They're live 2-day events, all focused on things that you can do in your embroidery machine. So it's a quilt in the hoop style workshop. It's a really great way to learn the technique.
It is. You can learn techniques. You can learn things your machine you didn't realize they could do. And you come up with things that look like you are a master quilter, even if you're just a beginner, which is very exciting.
Absolutely. In fact, we should talk about, Annie, what really makes Hoop Sisters special?
Well, what I just said. But really what makes it special is that you can use your embroidery design to make the blocks for your quilt. Do it right in the hoop. You can do the piecing, the applique. Some of the blocks and some of the quilts and designs we have teach different techniques and stuff. So there's usually a little slight different twist and turn to each and every one of our designs. But one of the things that brings all of our designs together is the fact that each of them include the quilting. So anytime you're stitching out one of our blocks, towards the end, at some point in the design, usually towards the end, you will see where we will have the quilting already there in that same file, so that you can just begin to, actually have it all layered and everything when it comes out of the hoop and quilted and ready to stitch to the next one.
So that's so cool. You don't have to figure out how to get it quilted later. It's all done when you're done. So it's fantastic.
And there really is 2 sets of sisters here at Hoop Sisters.
There are 2 sets of sisters.
That's probably something unique.
That's true. So definitely all of that. But the workshop's really great, you guys, because Annie's going to walk you through everything she just said. She's going to show you. We're actually going to reveal a new design, and then she's going to stitch out a block, show you how simple this is. This one's really simple. Even I think so. For someone who doesn't do it.
Yeah, this is such a simple but elegant design. I think everybody will love it.
Yes. So today, day 1, we're going to stitch out a block. We're going to share with you a special offer. So you can definitely hang out with us and not order a darn thing. You get that free gift at registration, play with it. Or you can go, you know what, I think I can do this. And hopefully you're inspired to try something new.
And so can I just leave a little hint?
Sure.
If you did download the free design and you did make that cute little flower coaster, you can certainly do this quilt. So easy.
Yeah.
That's all I wanted to say.
And she's so right. And the other thing, we are coming back here tomorrow, same time, same place for day 2 of this workshop. So you're getting a 2-day workshop. Day 2, we're going to go into more trimming, pinning, joining the blocks together. But we also really do so not only did you get the free gift at giveaway, right?
Right.
We also like to treat our live viewers by doing a live giveaway. So we always have a key, well, not always, but most of the time we have,
when you remember.
when I remember, which I did, we have a giveaway. So in order to be entered into the giveaway, you're just going to comment wherever you're watching, YouTube or Facebook, comment the word summer, and it will enter you into our live giveaway for $50 in store credit.
Wow.
So you can do some shopping with that. So there's a lot of really good things about joining us for a workshop, I would say. What about you?
Oh, absolutely. You learn a lot, you get a chance to win, and you get to get some really good deals on a new design.
That's right. Okay,
Yep.
so the next thing that we're going to cover quickly before we show this thing off is we do have several quilt shops who have this in stock. It's been incredibly popular with the quilt shops, which tends to tell us you guys are probably really going to love it too. So here's the first page. I'm not going to read them today, but here's the first page. I've also posted this in our VIP Facebook group. So it's all there as well. And here is a second page of quilt shops. Now, I just saw a sad face come across. If that was an accident, perfect. If it's because you don't have a shop near you, then don't worry. I'm about to turn that sad face into a heart because you can order it from us. And by the end of today, we're going to give you all the details on how to get the best deal. Okay. So just know we've got a lot of quilt shops, even in Canada and Alaska. So they're all over the place. So are you guys ready to check this out? Are you ready for the reveal? Can we get some comments? I see a lot of summer. Are you guys ready? Ready? All right. So I am going to play you a little video, and then we're going to show you in person as well. Okay? Are you ready? I don't know.
I'm ready.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Oh, I'm ready.
You're always ready.
There she is. How pretty is that? That's our little sneak peek. And so now we're going to quit teasing you, and we're actually going to hold this up. I'm going to hold it up and you talk about it since you are the designer this time around.
All right. Sounds good.
You ready?
Here it is. This is Summer Dreams, as you saw.
It's Summer Breeze.
Oh, yes. That's a different design. I knew maybe that was a bad mistake. Summer Breeze. So basically, Summer Breeze is probably the easiest Hoop Sisters design that we probably have out there, because basically all you're doing, this is one of the blocks, and you're basically going to be putting down your background fabric, and we're going to do this in just a minute. You're going to be doing applique and some decorative stitches, and then you're going to be doing the green heart or stem stitching that you see here, and it's going to do some feather quilting too. So it's just so easy. It's basically your background fabric, applique, add your backing, and then we're going to do some quilting. So we're going to do this today.
Do they like it? Do they like it? Love the swirls. I love the swirls too. And I think that's part of the reason she named it Summer Breeze. Doesn't it look like they're just floating in the breeze? So pretty.
I have a couple blocks here to show just an option for a different colorways as well.
But
that
you
I
still
want
have
to
another thing
I
in
do.
your hand.
So we give you the layout for this little quilt right here, but we also give you fabric requirements and layouts for a table runner. So this is the table runner. So you can see these end blocks on the left and the right. You'll see that they are kind of an odd shape, but it makes for a really nice end to each
I love
of
that.
the table runner. So it just
And look,
dresses it up so much.
look at the quilting, you guys. Like
Look at that.
is amazing. That's seriously gorgeous.
That is some awesome feather quilting, which is so cool.
And it really shows up nicely on the camera, but that's included. Like that's included.
Right.
You don't have to worry about
So,
trying to figure
yep.
that out later.
Every one of these block files that you pull up, it is part of the design. So I know we're showing this with an off-white.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about maybe this could be a phenomenal whole cloth quilt. And we did it in white. We did a block and white. Hopefully that is coming across really well. I'll turn it a couple different ways. So you can see how you could skip adding the applique fabric. So you could skip like the tack down stitch, and you could just do all the pretty stuff that shows. And you could do that with each of the blocks. And this is in white, so you could do it for a baby quilt, maybe this would make a great baby quilt.
Mhm.
Just with the appliques could be pinks or blues or whatever color you want, or you could do this as maybe a
Look.
christening or a quilt. Aw, thank you, Cindy. But
Okay.
you know what? If you have an older child, maybe, or maybe you are an older child like I am, and you want something bright and cheery, look what you can do. This is cute little poppy cotton
I
fabric.
love that.
So you don't have to have a bland background, but you can still see all that beautiful quilting that's in there. So this one is a ton of fun.
Anne said, it looks like you could, we're going to talk about this, but I'm going to pop it up there right now. Because yes.
Should we just go there now?
We can.
Okay, let's just go there now. So I have the instructions printed out in front of me, and after the pages where it tells you how to join it together, I have put some additional layout options on there. So look at that. You could just keep making them.
Mm-hmm.
Now you will, if you do decide to do that, you will have to notice that these 3 blocks together kind of form a heart. So you will have to keep that in mind. But you could go big, go small, or do anything you want to do. You can make that table runner longer like it is up here, and you could make it square. I mean,
I think they like it.
Yeah,
I'm reading through the comments and they love it. They love it. Don't worry, Mary. We will share all the details. I promise. I promise. We will share all the details with you. In fact, I'm going to pop some of them up on here right now before we get stitching. That is very small.
Unless
Yeah,
you need
go ahead.
or anything else. Okay.
I just wanted to pop this up because I saw a couple questions about block sizing. So this is going to be 2 sizes included, which will be the 5-inch size and the 7-inch size. So the size that we showed you, our sample is a 7-inch. So it's approximately 27.5 by 34.5 inches when finished. However, as Annie showed you, you really can just continue to make blocks and make this one even bigger. I see lots of questions in here too, like about love the texture. Is this decorative or can it actually be used? Was a great question.
Use it, absolutely use it.
So to answer your question, Mary, there's 2 different block sizes. So right now what we're going to do is I'm going to turn this over to Annie. She's going to start stitching and show you actually how to do this. And then in the middle of that or at the end of that, we're going to come back. We're going to talk about how to get the best deal, all that's included, all the stuff on ordering. So I know you guys are very excited and I'm excited you're excited. So the keyword, yes, the keyword is summer today. So, okay, Annie, here you go.
All right, let's get going. I'm so excited to do this. We're going to go with this color theme when we're stitching this out. I'm going to do a different block than this. And basically what you're going to need is you're going to need your Balizer, which is our batting and stabilizer combination. So it's something where if you wanted to, you could just use that. I'm actually going to add an extra layer of wool that's been prepared to do this stitching. And what that will do is it just makes those feathers really pop. And also those, I don't know how it looks on the screen already, all this light.
It looks pretty good.
Okay. So the wool basically helps the flower puff out. It just gives it a little bit more dimension. And the other things you will need for the design is you're going to need several different colors of thread, and it's all listed in your instructions. And you will need a piece for your background fabric and another piece for your backing fabric. I'm just going to simplify it and use the same. You could use a different color if you wanted to, and you're also going to need a little piece for your applique. Now, the first thing you're going to do, and this is all in your instructions, and it also has the step-by-step diagrams in there with the instructions to help you out. What our step 1 is, we're going to hoop our Balizer, and then we're going to put water-soluble thread in the needle and embroidery bobbin thread in the bobbin. Now we like to use Superior Vanish Light water-soluble thread because it just seems to dissolve nice and easy, yet hold it while we need it. So the reason we do water-soluble thread, and you'll notice in the first few stitches, is first of all, one of the reasons is so you don't have to change the thread so many times. And another reason is after we add our background fabric, you don't want to have you don't want to have to, you want to have a thread that's going to dissolve, because once you sew your blocks together, you're going to sew on that basting stitch and you don't want that to show. So basically step 1, hoop your Balizer, put your water soluble thread in the needle, embroidery bobbin thread in the bobbin, and you are going to stitch out a placement stitch. Now this placement stitch is going to be for your wool. If you can skip the wool step. The wool step is basically a zigzag, which I'm going to do right now. You can see I have some hot pink thread in there, but you will use water soluble. I use the hot pink so that you can see exactly what I'm talking about. It's a little easier to see on the camera. And then I've taken my wool square, and we tell you what size to cut it, and then you prepare it by pressing about 1/4 inch on all 4 sides. And I like to use parchment paper. So you can go into your kitchen, grab a little piece of parchment paper and put that over the wool and then press that in about 1/4 inch. You can see through it, nothing sticks to it, and it works great. So
can we also mention that if you decide to do the table runner, maybe don't do the wool?
Yeah.
If you're doing the wall hanging or like making it for a bed, the wool's great.
That's a great thing to say, Aubrey, because sometimes that wool, it can knock over a glass or a piece of water.
It makes it puffy.
It makes it puffy, which is great, and it looks phenomenal. But just your option with the, which way you want to go and what you're going to use it for. So since we're going to show you the wool. I know sometimes we tend to skip over in our lives, but I'm going to show it to you today. Now the wool is stitched with water soluble thread as well. And it's just going to do a zigzag stitch around the perimeter of your block. And again, mine's hot pink, but yours is going to be water soluble because it just blends right in with the batting and you won't even be able to see it. So that's why I chose hot pink.
We should, I don't know if you said this too. Let's talk about what Balizer is.
Okay, I think I did, but
okay. You might have.
Why don't you talk about it a little bit, Aubrey? I'm going to.
So I'll say it real quick, but our Balizer is what she's hooped here. And it's our batting and stabilizer product all in one. So you don't need to add extra stabilizer for this either. So the Balizer is really nice.
And it's great because you're building the block front and back, in this case, in the hoop. So you already have, this is your meat of your quilt sandwich is already in the hoop. The next step, which is step 3, you're going to take your background fabric. I think we may have labeled it. Yep, it says fabric 1 in your instructions. And we're just going to lay it right here. We're going to center over the top of the wool or at the top of the placement stitch. And I always like to, when I think I have it centered, I always like to peek underneath because sometimes I find I maybe need to move it over a little bit. So I'll look and make sure I have about 1/2 inch on both sides. And I think that looks pretty good. And again, this is also a water soluble step. So I'm going to hit the start button. And it's just going to do a tack down to hold everything together, but it's also going to do a placement stitch for our applique, all in the same step. And all I'm doing is making sure that the fabric is laying nice and flat. So I'm just going to kind of smooth it out so that we don't end up with a pucker at the very end. And this is the placement for the applique.
So Annie, I have a question. There's no such thing as stupid questions around here.
That's right.
I'm saying that because she said this might be but it's not. Is the zigzag stitch in the pattern?
Yes, everything your embroidery machine is going to do that you see us doing here is part of your pattern. It's part of the embroidery file. Yeah. So rather than stitching, in a regular embroidery design that's a teddy bear or flower, we're just using all the steps in quilting by doing it in the hoop. So yeah, that is included. This step is included. And our next step, which is step 4, is we're going to put whatever color of fabric or thread in the machine that you want to, thread color of your choice. And we're going to actually do a tack down for our fabric too. So I'm going to, I already have my hot pink in there. I'm going to go with the hot pink, and I'm going to sew a tack down stitch. And it's also, in addition to just doing a plain tack down stitch, it's going to do a little bit of detail stitching right on top of your fabric too. So when you think about what thread color you want to use for step 4, keep in mind that it is going to do some little stitching right on the flower petals to kind of separate them. So I'm going to just place this right over the top. And again, I'm just peeking under just to make sure I have everything covered, and it looks like I do. And then I'm going to go ahead and hit that start button, and it's going to do a tack down. I have a little thread tail I'm going to cut from when it started. And it's just going to do the tack down for our applique. Now, when it does the tack down for an applique with Hoop Sisters, it will go around the applique. The stitching will go around it 2 times. And it does that in areas where you need to trim close to the stitching. That way, if you maybe trim a little too close to the stitching, hopefully you've only cut one of those stitches, and everything will stay the way it stay exactly where it needs to be. So now you can see where it's doing a little bit of that decorative stitching there on top of that applique.
I know I am putting them in a little area for Andy to check them out in a little bit, and Nina's in the comments answering too, so we will get you.
Okay, now that we have this done, we're going to take our little Hoop Scissors mini. This is like my favorite applique trimming scissors. It has very thin blades, very sharp and pointed, so you get down into these little teeny tiny areas really well. So I'm just going to trim close to the stitching all around this little flower here. I need to take my hoop off here. There's going to be a lot of turning here because of all the angles that I have to cut here. But you're just going to trim nice and close to the stitching. It's a little awkward right here. You might not see the best picture at the moment. So bear with me while I do some trimming.
But the other thing that you'll notice is she's trimming on a flat area. Everything is still in the hoop. You're all going to leave it all in there and on that flat surface.
Yep, look how nice this gets down in those little crevices that you need to trim.
That's a great view.
With my arm in the way?
No, seriously.
Good. When you're trimming all these different angles like this, there'll be a lot of hoop spinning. But like Aubrey said, do that on a flat surface because you don't want anything to get out of registration or your block to completely pop out of the hoop. Those would all be bad things.
So cute.
I love this fabric. This is just so cute. I mean, you just think of all the cute fabric that your quilt shop has and how much fun you could have just buying fabric for this.
That's why I really like that our sample is one colorway, but you're doing the workshop in a completely different colorway because you can really do whatever.
Yep, absolutely. So we're on the next step, and the next step, I think I'm leaving the fabric, or I'm not sure what color. I got short arms trying to reach that. Next up, it's going to do the flower center. And I think I'm just going to leave the hot pink in there and just stitch it with hot pink. But I will show you here on this one. You can see how it contrasted. She went darker pink to light pink. So I'm just leaving my dark pink in there. Got to snip another thread tail. So now it's going to do the embroidery for the flower center.
Susan, we're using a Janome, but the designs are all multi-formatted. So whatever machine brand you love, as long as you have at least a 5-inch sewing field, you can totally do this.
You know, I look at this design and I'm thinking if you're more a fall color person, the oranges, oh, it would be so pretty. The pretty greens for fall. Do you have any questions?
I have a couple that I have starred, but do you mind if I show this real quick?
No, go right ahead.
Because I think I've had a couple people pop in and I want them to know what you're doing. I want them to see the full quilt. And I think even this picture shows the quilting really, really nicely. Just love it. So it's got that beautiful, I love the cone. Are they cone flowers? Is that what they're
I
called?
think that's what they are.
So
I'm
pretty.
not a botanist or a flower gardener, but
Yeah. But anyways, this is the quilt that she's working on right now. If you're just popping in, she's working on the block. I think I'm going to go check out some questions. Janine asked, is the ribbon stitched or applique?
the ribbon is stitching. So that cute little swirl that you see there, this here, this is stitched. This is all going to be stitched out. So you can choose whatever thread color you want. That looks great with your fabric.
Okay, and I know we already talked about that they can make this quilt larger just by making additional blocks. Do we include fabric requirements for that?
We do not
Okay.
include fabric requirements for that. We include fabric requirements just for the samples that we showed you.
So the table runner
The table runner
and the wall
and the wall
hanging.
hanging.
Okay. So there you go. Got you answers.
This takes a little bit of math, and you guys are smart. You can figure it out.
Carol asked, if I made extra blocks for a bed, would the ribbon border still work adding blocks?
Yes, it would. The ribbon border that you see, I don't know if you can bring the picture of the quilt up again. The ribbon border, it's basically, there's only 2 files if I'm not mistaken. So you got your little circular corner, your curved corner, and then you have your border that's just that curve. That's 1 file. So you just keep making them over and over and over to make it as big as you want.
There you go.
Okay. So I am on the next step. And on this step, you're going to match your thread with your applique fabric. So I'm going to put some light pink in here. And it's going to do the satin stitch that goes around the applique. Okay. Okay, I'm going to flip another thread tail. What I like about this satin stitch is that it's nice and wide. And it's not just a straight satin stitch. It's different widths, and it looks really pretty. I'll show them here on this one. You can kind of see it here.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that gorgeous?
Really pretty. Ginger asked, do you put any adhesive on the back of applique pieces?
No, I do not. Your piece of fabric that we tell you to cut is going to be big enough so that you can just lay it right over the top of where the placement stitch is, and the machine will tack it down. So because it tacks it down, you don't need any adhesive on there. And some adhesives will require heat or an iron to get it to adhere. Not all of them, but some of them will. And if you're using wool, you don't want that wool to get flattened out by your iron. So no adhesive is necessary for your applique because it's being tacked down with stitches. And those stitches that tack it down also give you that edge that you can use to cut against.
Annie, are you familiar with King Star metallic thread?
I have not tried it. I have heard of it, but I have not tried it.
So we can't recommend it, but I would say, Shelly,
yeah.
try it. Try it on a block and see what you think of it.
Try it and let us know.
Okay. We are going to be talking about how to get it, where to get it, how much it is. It's coming, I promise.
I just think the fact that you can do this as a whole cloth quilt is just absolutely stunning.
We got a lot of people saying they really like the King Star metallic. So give it a whirl. We'd like to see how it turns out for you.
Look at that quilting if you did the whole cloth.
Ginger said, hurry, hurry. Get to the good part.
I know. We're still waiting for all those satin stitches to get stitched out.
So do you have a minute? Can I take over for just a minute? Okay. So I did have the finished sizes for the 5-inch. If you do the 5-inch block versus the 7-inch block here on the screen for the wall hanging size. I also have it for the table runner sizing. My favorite part of this is the ends of the table runner. Like I just like that like scalloped
I do too.
look.
And and you could take those little scalloped ends that are on the table runner, and you could put them together as like a little candle mat or table mat.
Yes.
And it makes a super cute little design. The back page actually of the instructions will show you the 4 of them put together. And it makes a cute little table mat. Make a great hostess gift if you're going somewhere.
I love that. And so I do have this table runner. The files also come in a 5-inch size and a 7-inch size. The approximate finished size for the 5-inch would be 9.75 inches by 24.5 inches. And then 7-inch block size will make about a 13.25 by 34.5. So there you go. There's that. How much of a difference in loft is wool from Balizer? Got any idea on that?
Oh gosh, I'm not even sure how to measure that. Let me see if I can find a piece of wool. And a piece of Balizer, we can show you.
We'll show you. And then I also we kind of snuck this out earlier than we intended to today, but there are some layout ideas included on the last page of the instructions. These are just ideas. You'd have to do some math on your fabric and all that stuff. But look at this really cool different things you can make. The top left there is what she was talking about in regards to taking those scalloped edges off the border and kind of making a little, I'd put a candle on that.
Wouldn't that be cute?
Yeah, it'd be so
cute.
pretty.
That with a candle as a hostess gift. Like if you guys want to do that, you're welcome to come to my house and I can be the hostess.
Right, there you go. Monica says math, no way. I feel you, Monica. Well, then maybe stick with the layouts we included.
Sarah went to grab a little piece of wool, but I'm going to just show you. This is the Balizer. So it's very thin because you need to be able to hoop it, but it's also batting and stabilizer. It's got a nice loft to it. Let's talk about Frankenbat.
Yeah.
So when you trim your blocks, which we're going to do tomorrow, you sometimes end up with these little strips. So you just take them and just take the raw edges, butt them up against each other and zigzag them, and you can use this. So don't throw those away. So Sarah, thank you, Sarah, brought us a piece of wool. So there's our wool. Here, you hold the wool.
Sorry, I was reading.
That's okay. And there's the Balizer. So this would be great for a table runner, but if you want that loft and dimension to show, it'll still have loft and dimension, but this is like on steroids. So, and if you have a wool allergy, you can find a similar polyester or bamboo. That would work great as well. I'm going to go back to the machine. Aubrey, we're going to add our backing fabric.
All right.
All right. So it is now time for us to add our backing fabric. And this is a step where you would change to your water soluble thread. I'm not going to do that, but you need to do that. and maybe we can find a sample. I always forget to find a sample as to why we do that. So this is the back of our hoop. You don't unhook your project, just take your hoop off the machine, lay it again on a flat surface. This is going to be our backing fabric. And you're just going to take it and you are going to center it right over the top of the design and just pick it up and make sure you have approximately 1/2 inch on all the different sides, and that looks good. And I just gently just pet it, I guess. Just like make sure it's kind of it'll cling right to the Balizer so that when I flip this over, one of these times it's going to fall off and make a liar out of me. But it is still on there. So there's no need for spray adhesive. You can use a spray adhesive. I recommend you spraying it over a wastebasket right onto your fabric. And I always just peek underneath here just to make sure that it stayed in place, and it did. So again, with water soluble thread, it's just going to do an outline to hold all those layers together.
Yes, the instructions do tell you to use water soluble thread and when to use just a regular embroidery thread. So it will differentiate in the instructions. In fact, I don't know if you can hold this up, maybe not show specifically that, but so that they can
I'm sorry, I wasn't listening.
maybe just show the instructions.
Okay.
So that someone asked, do the instructions tell you when to like switch threads? I just thought
yes,
it might be
they
helpful
do.
to see them.
Yep. And I just like to write in the color of maybe my thread or fabric I'm using, but it says here, place fabric, thread color of your choice, contrasting or matching in the needle only. Place fabric 2 over placement stitches. Sew the tack down and petal detail. Trim close to stitching using hoop scissors mini. And as you can see, there's a diagram. Now there's a file that's called SBA and one called SBB. It just means Summer Breeze A and Summer Breeze B. And they're basically kind of sort of mirror images of each other. That's why there's 2 pictures there, because the steps are exactly the same for those 2 files. All right, so I've got to take this back off here because we are going to do quilting now, which is still all the same file. When we do our quilting, we're going to match our needle thread and our bobbin thread. So I'm going to put something that you can match or contrast your background fabric if you want to. I'm just going to match mine because it just looks beautiful. That looks beautiful either way. So I'm going to put, this is my same exact thread in the bobbin that we're going to put in the needle. And we strongly stress, I guess would be the good word to use, to match those. Don't try and go, oh, well, my back is a different color, so I'm going to use a different color in the bobbin, because the chances of you getting your tension absolutely perfect. Matter of fact, perfect tension usually has a little bit of the thread from the front showing on the back. So we really highly recommend, and all our instructions will tell you, to match your needle and bobbin thread. So there we go. I have it all ready to go. I'm going to put my hoop back on here. I'm double checking, make sure nothing is moved on the bottom. My fabric is still there. One of the things you're going to have to do, and I'm going to do it right now, you won't be able to see me, but I'm going to the set menu on my machine, and I am turning off my automatic thread cutter. I haven't used this machine in a while. Thread cutting off. And the reason we're going to do that, we're going to turn our thread cutter off, and we're going to do a needle down, needle up, and we're bringing that bobbin thread to the top of the block. So here we have our bobbin thread and our needle thread. We want both of those on the top. And by doing that and turning off our automatic thread cutter, we will not have any little bird nests or anything on the back that will show up on your quilt. So that's a couple things that you need to do in order to make the back look as pretty as the front. And we'll get this stitching, and then I'll show you the back of this other block.
So this is her adding the backing while it's in the hoop, but there is an option to add a one-piece backing. And I see Joan had a question about that. And she said, if you decide to do the one-piece backing, do the instructions give fabric requirements? And I just looked at them and they sure do. So you can, there's 2 different kind of pages about fabric, and the one does include the fabric requirements for that. So you'll be all set, Joan.
So this is the back of one of our blocks. Now, if you did not do the 2 steps I told you, you would have little bird nests all over here. I should really find a sample where we didn't do that, but it looks almost as nice. Let me bring this light out. Looks almost as good on the back as it does on the front. As a matter of fact, sometimes you kind of have to do a double take. And I only know this is the back because it's already trimmed.
Mm-hmm.
But those 2 steps will definitely help your back look a lot prettier. So this is going to take a few minutes already to do the quilting. The final step that it's going to do is it's going to do the green ribbon that you see going through it.
The ribbon's really, really
and
pretty.
then it'll do that ribbon step. Those are the final 2 steps in the block.
I've seen a couple people ask about left-handed scissors, and I feel like this has come up before, and we had a lot of lefties say they work. So if you're left-handed and you've ever used our scissors, let us know in the comments, because none of us are left-handed.
Yeah,
so.
I've never experienced that because I'm right-handed, so I feel for you.
Right?
And ask the other ladies out there, maybe if there's someone in the comments who's left-handed and has tried our scissors.
And Sheila's comment cracked me up. She said she's working from home and trying to watch and keeps getting interrupted. Darn work. I know.
Well, I'm working right now too, so I feel for you.
And Eva over on YouTube saying I'm left-handed and they work. So
Right.
If you're lefty or righty, doesn't matter. Okay, so one of the things that we also love to do here at Hoop Sisters is if you order during the workshop, meaning the 2 days, today and tomorrow, we also love to include a bonus project on qualifying orders. And the bonus project for this Summer Breeze quilt is adorable. It's actually a little corner bookmark. And I have my little book here so I can show you in person as well. And then we'll talk about how to snag it. But I've got my book and it's got the cutest little bookmark. I like how it's different than just a traditional bookmark. Mm-hmm. It just kind of dog ears over the page. And it's got this super cute little Summer Breeze flower on it too. So that's our bonus. And we're going to talk about what kind of a qualifying order you need next. So during the workshop, which is today and tomorrow, you can create your own bundle just by going to the website. I'll have Nina on our team drop the order, the category link, so you can check out what's there. We have a bunch of different things in there, everything from tools to even a couple other design options. So she'll drop that order link, and then you can look at what that might be for you. So creating your bundle just means you pick any 2 items from the category in the link that Nina just dropped, and pick those 2, pop them in your cart. And what's going to happen is you're going to save 10% will come off automatically. You don't need any coupon codes. And also the bonus will pop into your cart automatically, which is really nice. So it has to be in the Summer Breeze category, which is the link that Nina just dropped. We do have a couple exclusions. The exclusions mean that if you add bees and something else, it won't work. So that would be our strip stick, which we will talk about shortly, mono poly invisible thread, and the Vanish Light thread. Those are not included, but Balizer is included. The trimmer, I believe, is included. So you can definitely pick what works for you. If you are in an international customer, I highly recommend that you go to your local quilt shop and get your order placed through them. They do have the free gift and they do have the bonus. And you can just get it from them or just get the downloads. We do have some downloadable options if you don't have a shop near you. Okay, let's keep going. Oh, by the way, these expire Wednesday, tomorrow, July 10th at midnight on the East Coast. Okay, so workshop pricing and bundle pricing expire tomorrow at midnight, but it's a nice savings. So if you do decide to participate, this is the best time to do it. You're going to save. In this example, we did the 5 yards of Balizer, but you could pop in another design as a download if you wanted to do it that way, or a trimmer. So lots of good options in there. In this particular example, you would save $22.90 by ordering during the workshop. So, all right. So here is our complete set for this workshop. The free gift you would have gotten during registration, which closed today at noon. How many free gifts have we given away this year, guys?
Oh my
12?
gosh. Probably 12.
Or 11 and 12's next.
This might be 13.
A lot. So it's definitely worth registering because you get a lot of super cute freebies and you can try them out. So that would have come ahead of time. Now today, the Summer Breeze design and bonus are also something that is a really good option for you if you want to get the complete set. Okay, you want to take back over or do you want me to keep going?
You can keep going. It has just like this just a couple more minutes, and then we're gonna switch and do the
Okay.
that ribbon embroidery that's on there.
Yes. Okay. And I just saw someone say they usually order from A&A White in Florida and don't see them on the list this time. Cindy, I would still call Sherry, get a hold of her. She can probably get it in for you. So it's definitely something you could do. And then also just wanted to mention, and Nina, if you could drop that order link one more time. I always like to talk about the supplies that we recommend, because if you're hanging out with us today, inevitably tomorrow we're going to show you something else really cool. And then you're going to go, wait a minute, I should have placed that with my order yesterday. So some must-have supplies that we do recommend within our instructions. Definitely the Balizer, which Annie has in the hoop today, and we talked about that, is the combination of batting and stabilizer all in one product. We do have two sizes on the website, a 15-yard roll and a 5-yard pack. I think the 5-yard would be great for this project.
It would be perfect for this project.
And then also she showed you the hoop scissors minis today. We also have regular hoop scissors. They're a little bit bigger. And then the trimmer by George, we're going to show you tomorrow. This is the game-changing tool that everyone talks about. It will make it so easy to remove the bulk from the seams to get ready to join your blocks together. So we'll get more into that tomorrow. Water-soluble thread we touched on today. We're also going to talk about the strip stick tomorrow. This is how you're going to press without ruining the wool if you're added wool. And I saw that question earlier, so we will definitely get into that too. And then the invisible monopoly thread for when you're getting ready to join everything together. These items on the bottom are excluded from the Summer Breeze promotion. Everything on the top row is included in the Summer Breeze promotion. So I think that's really cool. You don't have to do just the Balizer. There's some other options in there, okay? All right, you ready over there?
I'm getting ready for
Oh, you're still going. Okay.
That's okay. You can bring it over here. I'm threading my needle. I am actually my choice of thread that I'm using for that little ribbon area.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to use the same color. So I'm putting that in the needle and also in the bobbin. And just got to get my bobbin thread here.
What about invisible thread instead of water soluble thread was a question I see too.
Well, invisible thread will not go away. It'll always be there. So sometimes the invisible thread will have just a slight shine to it. So you can try it, but once you try the Vanish Light water soluble, you will absolutely love it. So I'm going to bring my bobbin thread to the top as it begins this. And again, this is because, did I get it? Yep, I did. Because we don't want to have any bird nests on the back. So I have my bobbin thread and my needle thread pulled up and through the top. So we can get started with no bird's nest. And it's going to do this cute little ribbon stitching. And then we're done.
So someone asked if you could leave the ribbon stitching off.
Absolutely.
So you just would skip this step?
Absolutely.
Or would you just do it in like a matching?
Well, I'm going to stop it so she can take a good look. I wish I would have heard that question.
Sorry.
That's okay. But if you can imagine that green little thing is not there. It'll just be like an empty space. So absolutely you can do that. This is your quilt. You could do all kinds of fun stuff with it.
Okay, let's see. There are no fabric kits with this one. We did include the fabric requirements, so you can go shopping and get any kind of fabric you want. No kits for this one. Okay, can I share something while you're doing that?
Yeah, I'm just going to let it stitch, and then we're going to see if there's any more questions and talk about our game plan for tomorrow.
What brand of embroidery thread do you like? She likes the sheen. Which one are you using?
Oh,
do you know?
I
just grabbed one.
Well, currently this is Robeson Anton. What we recommend, any good quality polyester thread, embroidery thread. The polyester is going to be a little stronger than the rayon, and we kind of need that because you're going through all the layers like you would for a quilt. So we recommend any good quality polyester embroidery thread. I'm currently using Robeson Anton.
There you go. Also, next Wednesday, we're going to share some more how-to videos, and we're going to have sort of a summer breeze demo day where we are going to have 2 blocks that she's going to stitch out, as well as a detailed trimming and joining. Okay. So these are going to be pre-recorded videos. They're not live, but what's really nice about it is you can stop it, fast forward it, rewind it, watch it whenever it's convenient for you. So this is going to take place next Wednesday, July 17th. Okay. And I've seen a couple questions. Annie was using the mini hoop scissors earlier. So just know that. Ooh, giveaway. I am gonna get to the giveaway, but I do have some questions in here that I wanted you to put your eyes on.
Okay.
Here's the first one.
If using wool for the project and it's time to wash the item and then iron it, will the loftiness become flattened? Okay, you can wash it in cool water, and you can put it in a cool dryer, and then, or you can, I prefer just take it right out of the washing machine and just lay it flat on the bed. But as far as ironing it, you cannot iron it. Most of the time you don't iron a quilt anyway, so that should be just fine. But if you do iron it, you will flatten the wool. It'll just kind of go just like our edges did.
And during, this might not be exactly what you're asking, but during assembly, when you do want to press your seams, that's why we use the strip stick. And we're going to talk more about the strip stick tomorrow. But just know that that's what that's for. So you can raise your seam up and you won't iron the wool.
Right.
I also saw somebody ask to see the back. I'm going to show them your knot. I'm going to show them your knot sleeve.
Okay. We have a running joke here, Sarah and I do, because Sarah likes to make things and not put sleeves on them. And this time I did it.
So here's the front. Now this, you want to talk about how you did the back, and there's another option. And
yeah, absolutely. So on this one, we put the backing on while it was in the hoop, just like we did on this one. Here's the front of this one, and then also the back on this one. So you can kind of see the difference. This is what it looks like when you put the back on while it's in the hoop. And tomorrow I'm going to show you how to pin and how to join these together and where to sew it to get it to line up exactly perfectly on the front. And I'll show you how to do the sashing strips. The other way that you can do it that we did on the table runner, and you could do it on this one if you want to as well, is we just did a lining. So we just took a piece of fabric, put it right sides to the quilt, and then we stitched around it and left an opening and turned it and then pressed it and top stitched it. And when I say press it, if you do put wool in it, you're going to have to make sure that you press just the edges, and your edges are already probably slight. It's not going to make really a big deal of difference because you need to press it nice and flat. And then I just top stitched around it. But tomorrow I'm going to show you, since we put backing on our block, I'm going to show you how to pin them, how to sew them together, how to press them using the strip stick because we used wool. And then we're also going to do the sashing tomorrow. So we're going to have a lot of fun tomorrow too and show you these things.
What size hoop is used for the 7-inch block?
What we usually say is that they're your 7-inch block or any size block. Just use the smallest hoop that you have that file will fit into. And that usually is the best way to go. So many machines and brands just have different size hoops and stuff. So it's just easier to say that you need to figure out which hoop's best for a 7-inch block based on the machine you have. Can you use duckbill scissors for applique, or do you sell? We do not sell duckbill applique. And I will tell you that on this, I don't know that the duckbill would fit into these little nice grooves and stuff between those petals. So we really like our hoop scissors mini because of the thin blades. But you can try your duckbill. If it doesn't work, you can come back and get your little hoop scissors mini.
Karen, if your 10% is not showing up, make sure you have in your cart at least 2 items that are in the promo. So like no threads, no strip stick, but the other things. Okay, and then I'm going to do the giveaway.
All right, awesome.
So make sure that you have typed the word summer in, and if you haven't, do it now. Okay, I'm going to do it. I'm going to give somebody $50 in store credit. All right. There's so many clicks you have to do just to
I
show
know.
this. All right, we've got 305 of you in here.
6,
8.
It's going up.
Hurry up, guys. Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm gonna hit it.
All right,
Just
do
keep
it.
coming. All right, let's see who our winner is today.
Slowing down.
It messes with you.
Ooh.
Ellen R. Ellen R.
R.
over on YouTube. Congratulations, Ellen. You are the winner. So what you're going to want to do is, let me remove that. You're going to want to email Nina to claim your prize. And, oh, that's not the one I wanted to do. This one. You have 5 days to email Nina, nina@hoopsisters.com. Shoot her an email, let her know that you are a day one Summer Breeze $50 store credit winner. That's a mouthful. And if you are having any questions or troubles when you are trying to place your order or questions about some of the promos or anything like that, we have a real life person named Nina and she answers the phone. It does get a little crazy after workshops. So if she doesn't answer right away, just leave a message and she will get back to you. But we will definitely make sure that you get all taken care of. And I do also want to remind everyone that the promos that we talked about today and tomorrow at midnight. So if you're on the fence, it's really a great time to do it because you get 10% off of the 2 items. And you're going to get that bookmark bonus absolutely free. So fantastic. Okay. No, there is a USB. Sarah, can you make sure the USB is also showing on the website? Okay. Yes, we do have a download and USB option. So if you prefer download, you can do that. Or if you want the USB, you can order it that way. Okay. I think we did it.
All right, we did.
All right, you all, we will be back tomorrow. You want to tell them quickly what we're going to do tomorrow?
Tomorrow, we're going to take the block that we made today and another block. We are going to show you how to pin it, where to sew those blocks together. We're going to show you how to press it using the strip stick because we used wool in our block. And then we're going to show you how to put the sashing on the back.
Yes, ma'am.
So lots of stuff to teach tomorrow.
Yep. Okay. So we will see you back here tomorrow, same
Yep.
time, same place. Glad you guys love it. Go get your orders in and we will talk all about trimming tomorrow.
That's right. Tomorrow's the day. Thanks for joining us. Bye-bye.